Welcome everyone to another session of Bharat Ke Paramveer. I, Kaustubh Savan, on behalf of Indo-Science Education Trust, would like to hand over the mic to Veteran Group Captain Shrikant Parvatkar sir and start this session.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My viewers appreciate your consistency of last 14 episodes, and I'm sure it will continue till next 7 sessions. Today is episode 14. It gives me pleasure to welcome you in this evening to listen to the story of Bharat, one of the Bharat Ke Paramveers. Today's episode is very, very special for me because it covers the only air warrior who was decorated with highest gallantry award, Flying Officer Paramveer Singh Sekhon. As per ritual, we pay our respect to these 21 Paramveer diamonds in the necklace of our Bharat Mata. We feel indebted to all of them for their actions for safety of India and every Indian. अब तुम्हारे हवाले वतन साथियों. We'll revisit the brief summary of Paramveer Chakra awardees of 1971 Indo-Pakistan Second War, Third War. I'm sorry, Indo-Pakistan Third War. It's called Bangladesh Liberation War as well. Last Sunday we heard about Lance Naik Albert Ekka, who got posthumously was awarded Paramveer Chakra for his bravery on 3rd December 1971. Today we are going to hear the story of Flying Officer Nirmaljit Singh Sekhon, who also received Paramveer Chakra Award posthumously for his bravery, extraordinary gallantry actions of 14th December 1971. These 4 episodes of 1971 Paramveer Chakra awardees are dedicated to the unsung heroes, martyred or injured, alive or no more, and their family members who suffered enormously as a result of the 1971 war with Pakistan and all the previous wars India fought. Every Indian, along with all their generations, shall remain indebted to them forever. Today's hero is Flying Officer Nirmaljit Singh Sekhon of Indian Air Force. Is the only air warrior to have been decorated with the highest gallantry award of India. Yes, Navas Prasham Deeptam. I always feel very, very proud to be an air warrior. Though a veteran, an air warrior is always an air warrior. My uniform is my identity. Whatever I am today is because of Indian Air Force. Always feel indebted to this wonderful organization. This is the thought, not of Group Captain Shrikant Parvatkar, but every air warrior, irrespective of rank, has the same feeling. I am fortunate to have expressed it, or got an opportunity to express these feelings of every air warrior, irrespective of the age, who has served in this organization. Flying Officer Nirmaljit Singh Sekhon, Paramveer Chakra, 17 July 1945, he was born. 4 June 1967, at the age of 22, he joined Indian Air Force. 14 December 1971, he left this earth for heavenly abode. Total number of years on this planet, 26 years. Total number of years in Indian Air Force, 4 years. Life before joining Indian Air Force. His date of birth, 17 July 1945. He was born in village Rukreiswal in Ludhiana district of Punjab. His father, Warrant Officer Honorary Flight Lieutenant Terlok Singh Sekhon, was also an air warrior himself. So Flying Officer Nirmaljit Singh Sekhon was the second generation officer of Indian Air Force. Sekhon joined training as a cadet of 97 General Duty Pilot course at Air Force Academy, Dundigal. and was commissioned in the Indian Air Force on 4th June 1967 in the rank of pilot officer at the age of 22. His first posting was to 18th Squadron. Every squadron has got some name by which it is recognized. So 18th Squadron is recognized by the name Flying Bullets. He joined 18th Squadron Flying Bullets in October 1968. Very tall, lanky, and simple man from rustic background. He was always called as brother by his colleagues because he used to always start his communication by this word brother. 26 years stay on the planet Earth proved character of an aero warrior before giving meaning to his life and death in 1971 war. He was married just a few months before his death. Most of this period after marriage, he was on duty at Srinagar. Now we'll go to the date 14th December 1971. Actions of Paramveer, air combat over Srinagar Air Base on 14 December 1971. During Indo-Pakistan War of 1971, he was posted to 18th Squadron, the Flying Bullets, with Fallen Gnats. That's the name of the aircraft. The 18th Squadron was equipped with Fallen Gnats, and one detachment was placed at Srinagar for the air defense of the valley. Gnats had got the reputation and name in the world as a saber slayers for their actions and success in 1965, wherein they proved superior to the sabers and proved it right again in the 1971 war. On 14 December 1971, after the daybreak first light of the day, 6 sabers of 26th Squadron, name of the squadron, Black Spiders of Pakistan Air Force, piloted by Wing Commander Sharbat Ali Changzi, Flight Lieutenants H.K. Dotani, Amjad Anrabi, Maruf Mir as wingmen, and Flight Lieutenants Salim Beg and Rahim Yusufzai as escorts, took off from Peshawar airfield and were heading for Srinagar airfield, crossing Pir Panjal ranges. Bombers were equipped with 2 500-pound bombs, 12.7 mm belted ammunition crammed in the noseway to the utmost capacity, and escorts flown by Flight Lieutenant Salim Beg and Rahim Yusufzai had all six M3 Browning machine guns fully loaded. All sabers carried 760 liters external fuel tanks to stretch their endurance. Peshawar to Srinagar distance one way is 320 kilometers. Their purpose was to bomb the runway at Srinagar and airfield and make the runway unusable for any action of IAF. At Srinagar airfield, on our side, Flight Lieutenant Baladhir Singh Ghuman, who was fondly called as G-Man, and Flying Officer Nirmaljit Singh Sekho were on ORP duties, operational readiness platform duties. End of the runway, the aircraft are placed ready in readiness, always readily available for short notice takeoff. So aircraft are ready, pilots are ready, and then as and when the instructions come, they take off without any delay. These 2 officers, Flight Lieutenant Baldir Singh Ghuman and Flying Officer Sekho, were taken off the standby duties, but were told to hang about for some time, remain there, even if you have been taken off of the standby duties, remain there. There was no radar in the valley at that time. Early warning from the observation posts over Pir Panjal and elsewhere, and they used to watch the aircraft heading towards India and will communicate through radio sets. So very, very raw early warning mechanism was there at the time. Radar would have helped them to be ready for the action because time is a premium every time. Message came about the sabers heading towards Kashmir and further from Avantipur that the Pakistan Air Force aircraft are heading towards Srinagar. Siren started blowing at its highest pitch, and Group Captain Sopti, the then station commander, Air Force Station Srinagar, ordered the scramble at 0800 hours in the morning. Two Nats emerged from the blast pens for takeoff within 120 seconds, within 2 minutes. They were out of the pen, ready for takeoff. However, there was no time. The aircraft were already reaching overhead, and it was not very safe to take off in this situation. Flight from Yoginder Singh Yadav, in short called as Yogi, was a cap controller, combat air patrol controller. He tried to stop the aircraft taking off, since it was very dangerous to take off when the enemy aircraft were so close, almost overhead, and allow the AD guns, another air defense guns, to do its job of getting down the enemy aircraft, but could not because the frequency of Yoginder Singh Yadav and these two aircraft was different. Flight leg Ghuman took off without waiting for the clearance from ATC and was followed by Sekhon after delay of 20 seconds. Both aircraft were on the runway taking off. This is the, I want to show you what happens. Aircraft are ready. When the message comes to scramble, these pilots run, sit in the cockpit, and immediately in one action, go on the runway and take off without delay, because every moment, every second is important. So this is a picture to show how the ORP happens and how the scramble takes place. These are two pilots heading for their respective aircraft for takeoff. By the time Sekhon's aircraft took off and he did undercarriage, any aircraft, first formation of two aircraft, enemy aircraft, had already reached and had exploded on this one by one behind him. He was taking off, moving forward, and the bombing was taking place behind him. The first pair of enemy aircraft were speeding up to climb and wait to regroup with other aircraft following them. Flying officer Sekhon spotted the aircraft of Wing Commander Chengzi and Flight Lieutenant Dotani, number 1 and number 2, who overshot him fortuitously into his crosshairs. Sekhon caught on the opportunity, turned right, and positioned his aircraft to get astern of number 2, Dotani's aircraft. He saw these two aircraft, were very fortunate to have them in their view, and now he won't leave them. He wrote on the communication set, I'm behind two sabers and I won't let these ... get away. It's an abuse, but that is what the Josh comes out. Ghuman replied, good show, brother, where are you? G-Man had taken off before 20 seconds before him, and there was thick fog, and the aircraft which had bombed the runway also had created a thick fog, and there was not much of visibility for G-Man to spot Sekhon. G-Man could not spot the sabers and Sekhon's Nat due to heavy fog and poor visibility. As a result, Sekhon was alone to fight with 4 sabers without any assistance. Realizing the Nat was doggedly snapping at their tails, Chengzi ordered his formation to jettison the external tanks and bid Dotani to turn left hard to throw off Sekhon. Now, the external tanks were there, which were creating problem for maneuverability of the sabers. So the commanding officer, squadron commander, Wing Commander Chengzi, ordered that jettison the external tank, leave it, and turn left hard left and go behind Sekhon. By the time second pair had dropped bombs on the runway and were pulling out of the dive, Andrabi, number 3, was compelled to hold his breath when he saw the air combat of one tiny Nat and 2 sabers. Burst of bullets from the 2 cannons of the Nat towards Dotani. Andrabi was in panic. He hollered with as much breath he could summon up and said, break, Dotani, break. With his life at stake, Dotani broke berserk, dropped out and limped off westward into the mountains. He ran away from the action. Now that was the time, 71, when there was no air-to-air missiles like modern fighters, only front guns as weapons available to down the enemy planes in the air combat. It demands tremendous skill because it's a three-dimensional. The aircraft are fast changing the situation, changing their attitude, and changing their positioning. So just by these guns as a weapon, air combat becomes very, very challenging. It demands tremendous skill down the aircraft with guns. Dotani was lucky, escaped by the skin of his teeth. He was very fortunate. Though he was had a hit from Sekhon's net. After Dotani's aircraft was damaged and he dropped out for his life, Sekhon now concentrated, got behind number 1, Wing Commander Cheng Zi's aircraft. Number 3 pilot Anrabi maneuvered his aircraft behind Sekhon's net. The three got in a fierce dogfight. Sekhon communicated, I am in a circle of joy, but with 2 sabers. I'm getting behind one, but the other is getting an edge on me. Sekhon communicated. Though the action is taking place at treetop level, none of it is visible to the onlookers from the airfield. Anrabi keeps firing from behind non-stop, but with the high standards of professionalism, Sekhon dodges all the bullets till Anrabi shoots his gun empty and declares, there is Winchester, number 3 is Winchester. He has finished 1800 rounds without single hit on the target. Pakistanis are shocked. Now Sekhon gets a boost, relieved of the combat threat. Relieved of the threat behind, Sekhon breathes a sigh of relief. Now he also jettisons his external tank for better maneuverability, and with fresh energy goes after number 1 with vengeance. The dogfight becomes more and more intense, and Sekhon starts firing with 30 mm cannon. Such was the attack that Wing Commander Cheng Zi gives up the fight and makes an SOS call to his escorts for help. Now, at this stage, Sekhon is not aware that there are 2 escorts with this formation of 4 aircraft who are orbiting at 1 kilometer overhead the site of this air combat. The escorts were orbiting 1 kilometer overhead the site of the air combat. On hearing the SOS call from the commanding officer, Beg, Flight of Beg, the escort leader, shocked at the number 3 Winchester call and observing the bomber leader, his squadron commander, about to be slayed by the tiny gnat of lanky Sekhon, swooped down in the aerial arena. He entered the arena. This was a surprise for Sekhon. He was now again fighting it out with 4 enemy sabers. Unchallenged sabers sped towards lonely gnat of Sekhon. No support from G-Man and or cap controller Yogi. The inevitable result was beyond the control of even Superman Sekhon also. Lieutenant Beg was closing on to the Sekhon's gnat, coming closer and closer, 500 meters, 300 meters. Beg pipped his 6 machine guns and volleyed the bullets on the gnat fully 9 yards. Last communication from Sekhon comes, I think I have been hit. G-Man, come and get them. Flash. With black smoke belching out of her belly, the gnat leveled her wings and headed towards base. Beg knew he has achieved what a fighter pilot would long for in his lifetime in the world. The hail of bullets peppered the gnat tail. Veteran Wing Commander G.M. David, who was assisting Yogi that morning as a cap controller, says 37 bullet holes were found on the rear fuselage, tailplane and fin of the plane of the gnat, Sekhon's gnat. This knocked out her flight control system. Challenges were increasing. The laws of flight also abandoned the gnat and Sekhon. She flipped to inverted, nosedived and corkscrewed into the gorge near Badgaon. Before that, Sekho had pulled up the ejection handle but was unsuccessful. Canop had flown off. The parachute was partially deployed. However, Sekho was down to eject and save himself. Half an hour later, G-Man landed back on the damaged runway. His exclusion that morning would remain a lifelong regret for him. He was there, but he could not do what he was to do. That regret will remain in his life, throughout his life. For his extraordinary gallantry, Flying Officer Nirmaljeet Singh Sekhon was decorated with the highest gallantry award of India, the Paramveer Chakra, posthumously. He is the sole air warrior to be elevated to the wartime pedestal. Till now, he is the sole air warrior to be elevated to the wartime pedestal. I, as a warrior, consider myself fortunate and blessed to have got this opportunity to narrate and share the story of my big air warrior brother, Flying Officer Nirmaljeet Singh Sekhon, PVC. Citation: Flying Officer Nirmaljeet Singh Sekhon, 18 Squadron 10877 FP. Flying Officer Nirmaljeet Singh Sekhon was a pilot of a NAT detachment based at Srinagar for the air defense of the valley against Pakistani air attacks. From the very outbreak of the hostilities, he and his colleagues fought successive waves of intruding Pakistani aircraft with valor and determination, maintaining the high reputation of the NAT aircraft as saber slayers. On 14 December 1971, Srinagar airfield was attacked by a wave of enemy saber aircraft. Flying Officer Sekhon was on readiness duty at the time. Immediately, however, no fewer than 6 enemy aircraft were overhead, and they began bombing and strafing the airfield. In spite of the mortal danger of attempting to take off during the attack, Flying Officer Sekhon took off and immediately engaged a pair of the attacking sabers. In the fight that ensued, he secured hits on one aircraft and damaged another. By this time, the other saber aircraft came to the aid of their hard-pressed companions, and Flying Officer Sekhon's NAT was again outnumbered, this time by 4-1. Even though alone, Flying Officer Sekhon engaged the enemy in an unequal combat. In the fight that followed at treetop level, he almost held his own, but was eventually overcome by the sheer weight of numbers. His aircraft was shot down by a gunfire of one of the sabers, and he was killed. Sublime heroism, supreme gallantry, flying skill and determination above and beyond the call of duty displayed by Flying Officer Sekhon in the face of certain death have set new heights in the Air Force traditions. Mrs. Sekhon, receiving Paramveer Chakra for her husband, Flying Officer enjoys Nirmaljeet Singh Sekhon's bravery from the then President of India, His Excellency U.P. Giri. Food for thought: soldiers don't die when bullets pierce their hearts and heads through the uniforms. They don't die when they fall before an enemy onslaught, or even when they get buried in trenches, staining the earth with their warm crimson blood, worshipping Mother India with their warm crimson blood, as per traditions of Indian Armed Forces. It's only when we forget their acts of bravery and or sufferings of their physically alive families that the soldiers die. Rachna Bisht Rawat in The Brave, you should not be one of them. This is the statue of Paramveer Flying Officer Nirmaljeet Singh Sekhon, PVC, with the NAT at IF Museum, Palam. Whenever you go to Delhi, go to visit Indian Air Force Museum at Palam. Generally, the tourists are not given hint about this place. You may like to visit when next time in Delhi. Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. Generations of air warriors will come and go, but will work with the same zeal as our brother Paramveer Chakra holder, Flying Officer Nirmaljeet Singh Sekhon. Acknowledgement: I wish to express sincere thanks and acknowledge the following sources for their contribution to completion of this presentation. Photograph of the statue at National War Memorial in New Delhi. This source, Wikipedia. Indian Air Force for the photograph of statue of the Paramveer at Air Force Museum, Palam. Rawat Rachna Bish, The Brave Paramveer Chakra Stories, Penguin Publishing House, India, 2014. Write-up by fighter pilot MP Anil Kumar, which figured in under the heading of 13th December 2011, under the heading The Flying Hero of the 1971 War. He passed away. The fighter pilot MP Anil Kumar passed away into the ages on 20th May 2014. May his soul rest in peace. Finally, Rashtraya Swaha, Idam Rashtraya, Idam na Mama. Jai Hind. I finished. God bless all of us.